Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining me every evening to follow what's happening in India and abroad. And thank you for sending me your useful comments and suggestions. If you believe in this channel, do share it with your friends and spread the message. Jerry, we can just mute yours. Our only mission is to bring you the truth and both sides of the story. Thank you for your support. Now, looks like, yeah, welcome, Jerry. Yeah, you're muted.
Yeah, good evening to all the viewers once again.
Yeah. So, looks like Shah Rukh is back trying to garner some attention through an app, okay, A23, an app owned by the online skill gaming company Head Digital's Works, has announced that it has roped in Shah Rukh Khan as its brand ambassador. The actor will feature in its Chalo Saap Khele campaign, along with the first of its kind responsible gaming campaign that showcases skill games such as rummy, fantasy, sports, carom, and pool. Deepak Gulapalli, founder and CEO of the firm, said, "It is a privilege to have the nation's biggest superstar to be associated with us as a global superstar who has always connected well with all segments of the audience and society. We believe that Shah Rukh Khan will help elevate our brand and win the hearts of millions of Indians who relate to using their skills to win. The campaign brings to life the narrative of various types of gamers on our platform through the magic of the actor, and it promises to enthrall his fans. Through the campaign, the company intends to take a stand in the industry and share the message of playing responsibly with safe online gaming practices for users across all platforms. In a statement, the actor said he was happy to be a part of India's first of its kind campaign that proactively initiates the message of responsible gaming, just like any other form of entertainment. I would urge all online gamers to indulge at their leisure, but responsibly. According to the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry's Gaming Committee, India has emerged as the largest fantasy sports market in the world with over 13 crore users playing fantasy sports. The group of 27% CAGR generated by the online skill gaming industry in 2020 has made it the fastest growing segment within the Indian M&E sector. Yeah. Now here, friends, what I'd like to say is that I don't know. There's this echo. Yeah, is that see? Everybody seems to have entered the gaming spree. Okay, whether it is even Ekta Kapoor or whether it's Salman Khan, reality and gaming is all the same. And please do not forget the fact that even the dating app is one such app where people are exploited. Now, I see this as another, sort of forum to use people, and I'm sure we'll be proved about this in the end because when this Ayub, what's her name? The lady who's the big scamster in journalism, Jerry?
Rana,
Rana Ayub, yes.
Rana,
Rana Ayub. Now, Rana Ayub, see, she also got her money and payments through Kito, which we had already said is a scamming, scamming establishment that makes money, charity, association. And look at the way we'll reveal that later on in this news. This, I'm sure, is leading to something, Jerry.
Yeah, so my take on this is that now Bollywood, especially Shah Rukh Khan, has to look for other avenues of revenue because none of the films in Bollywood are, sort of getting money or getting returns. So they have to look for other, avenues of revenue for carrying their illegal activities. So one such forum is gaming. So gaming is again, it can create a sense of addiction among the youth, and this is what they're hoping to exploit. That young people will spend money, buying these apps, or they can buy certain what do you say, dresses or certain weapons. Like if it's a you know. A sort of game where you fight and stuff, then they'll buy certain weapons and stuff. through microtransactions. So
And
that's
here also,
how,
Jaidev, yeah,
yeah,
Jaidev, here also, I think that they also get all their database and all their,
yes.
personal likes and their friends. So there's something much more to it.
Yeah, and not only that, they are also targeting, people who like cricket, like IPL. And there's something which, there's an app which sort of, it's like gambling. It's like gambling, and it promotes gambling, in fact. So through these sort of, addictions, they are trying to create a stream of revenue. These Bollywood people.
But it's
So
also, like you say, double pronged.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, like a snake with two tongues.
So coming to the next piece of news is with regards to Alia Bhatt's film Gangubai Kateyawadi, and so since the trailer of this film had been released, and so Alia Bhatt is playing the role of a real life personality. Her name is Gangubai Kotewadi, who was sold into prostitution at a young age and ran a brothel in the red light area of Kamatipura in Mumbai in the 1960s. So that's a background of this this lady. And now, in a recent interview, Gangubai's adopted son Babu Rauji Shah and granddaughter Bharti have slammed the film, claiming that the makers of the film have turned her into a prostitute. While speaking to Aaj Tak, so Babu Shah has expressed his disappointment with the film, saying, "My mother has been turned into a prostitute." He also added that people are now endlessly gossiping about his mother. So Gangubai's granddaughter Bharti has also shown her outrage against the film, claiming that the makers have defamed their family for greed. She also added that no permissions were taken from them before writing this book, also making the film. While talking to the media, Bharti said that her maternal grandmother had adopted four children and worked for the upliftment of the sex workers in Kamatipura throughout their life. So that's a huge revelation. That's
Yeah, yeah,
my God, I cannot believe it. Like they should file a big. This family should file a big case
absolutely.
against,
They should sue them.
because I mean, in the film, she's being portrayed as a sex worker, where in reality she fought for the upliftment of sex workers. So, what a huge difference! And I mean, like, was this intentional from the part of Bollywood to defame this family? That's a question which I want to ask the makers of this film. So then, now for the so Baburao Shah, who's the adopted son of Gangubai, had filed a petition in Mumbai court in 2021, alleging that his family is being reputed in this film. The court even summoned Alia Bhatt and Sanjay Leela Bansali in this case. Now, later, the Bombay High Court had refused to stay the release of this film and also granted an interim stay on the criminal defamation proceedings against the makers. Now, based on a chapter from Hussein Zaidi's book Mafia Queens of Mumbai, the film features, Vijay, Indira, and Seema. So this is set to release in theaters on February 25th. So, but this is a huge, shocking revelation.
Yeah. Also, the fact that, see, not only that, they are also using small children,
Hmm.
as a PR exercise to show them as little prostitutes, speaking the same language that Alia, anyway, Alia can't act for nuts. Okay. Just trying to imitate Alia, who looks like a, over made up, woman and who can't act for nuts. I don't know why, these people even bother to make her act. She can't act for nuts. If not for her father's, muscle power, nobody would touch her. Yeah. Moving on to the next story. Uh, Before I go to the next news piece, I'd like to tell you there were some pictures of Kangana and Ekta Kapoor, at a Gurudwara Bangla Sahib in Delhi. And I would best like to describe Kangana as a U-turner and and Ekta as the exploiter of young men and women. through her series, where she squeezes them, to the hilt. Now, I don't know what they are asking blessings for. I mean, as one, person, from our group itself, Mira was, remarking, like Ekta looks so eerie with all those rings, in her finger. Are they praying that they'll make more such movies and, exploit people and indulge in drug wood? We don't know. What are they praying for? Normally people pray, to pray for some good things, and especially when you're a good human being. Here, I don't know what these two people are praying for. you know Similarly, in another very interesting this thing incident, we have the minister now interviewing. She seems to have forgotten her job as she interviews a loser who happens to be her bestie's best friend's brother, Tushar Kapoor, on a book that he has written about his life. Can you believe it? So now, not only is Smriti an author, Smriti Irani is an author, now Tushar is also an author. Now, I don't know who's ghost, most probably his book has also been ghost written by someone. Looks like there was no one to interview this flop actor. And Smriti did the honors because she seems keeps doing some sort of favor for Ekta Kapoor. Now, Ekta and she seem to be doing favors for each other and keeping each other very happy. I just can't understand what life is Sushant talking about, because he hasn't had a life at all. Where, he is just a Nepo kid who's been taken and lifted and put in stupid, sick, movies, sex movies where he can't even prove his talent. He doesn't have any talent. And then because he was not successful, he was put in Alt Balaji by Ekta Kapoor, which is all about dirty, dirty movies. So I don't know where we need to give credit to this guy, but of course, Minister Madam is there to praise them. Okay, moving to Samir Wankade. Moving to Samir Wankade's case, Samir Wankade deposes before the NCB Vigilance Panel in Delhi. Official sources said Wankade presented his version and official documents related to the raid, which took place in October last year at the International Cruise Terminal in Mumbai before NCB Deputy Director General for the Northern Region, Gyaneshwar Singh. Samir, the Narcotics Controls Bureau former Mumbai Zonal Director, on Sunday appeared before a departmental vigilance panel here that is investigating allegations of extortion against agency team that conducted the drugs on cruise raid, leading to the arrest of actor Shah Rukh Khan's son Aryan Khan and others. Official sources said Wankade presented his version and official documents related to the raid, which took place in October last year at the International Cruise Terminal in Mumbai before NCB Deputy Director for the Northern Region, Gyaneshwar Singh. He and his team from NCB Mumbai had earlier too deposed before the vigilance panel, and it is understood that the latest deposition is part of the process to conclude the inquiry, following which a report will be submitted by the DDG to the NCB Director General. Singh, a 1999 batch IPS officer of Himachal Pradesh cadre, is a chief vigilance officer of the NCB and was tasked to conduct the probe after Prabhakar Sale, an independent witness in the cruise drugs case, had filed an affidavit claiming that there was an extortion bid of rupees 25 crores by some NCB Mumbai officials and others for letting off Aryan Khan in the case. 20 people were arrested in this case, and all of them are now out on bail, including Aryan Khan. Sale had claimed that he overheard that rupees 8 crore bribe out of this money was to be paid to Wankade. Sale was the bodyguard of a private person and another witness in this case, KP Gosavi, who is now in jail following his arrest by the Pune police in a fraud case. Gosavi was arrested by the police after the NCB cruise raid, and the vigilance panel will also question him in jail before preparing its final report. Sale had also claimed that he saw Gosavi meeting Shah Rukh Khan's manager, Pooja Dadlani, post the Cordelia cruise raid, and he was asked to sign 9 to 10 blank pages in the presence of Wankade. Wankade had maintained that all due procedures were followed during the raid, and the allegations were made to deter him from taking strong action against high-profile drug traffickers. I hope you heard that clearly. I'll just repeat that sentence. Wankade had maintained that all due procedures were followed during the raid, and the allegations were made to deter him from taking strong action against high-profile drug traffickers. Other officials from the NCB Mumbai team, involved in this case have also deposed before the DDG Singh led panel here this week. Singh and his team had last year traveled to Mumbai to conduct an on spot investigation, questioning and recording statements of all those involved, including Wankade, his NCB Mumbai team, Sale, Aryan Khan, and others. The vigilance team also took possession of the NCB case documents and the seizure memo. Gosavi's close proximity and photographs with Aryan Khan during the NCB raids raised questions, and the matter is part of the departmental vigilance probe. The tenure of Wankade, an Indian Revenue Service officer of the 2008 batch with the NCB, ended last month as he had to be moved to another department. His services were then put at disposal of his parent organization, DRI. The 42-year-old officer served as the head of the zonal director of NCB Mumbai unit from August 31st, 2020, during which he investigated numerous drug cases, including the one linked to the death of actor Sushant Singh Rajput and the one leading to the arrest of Maharashtra's minister Nawab Malik's son-in-law. Now, here, what I'd like to tell you, friends, is that in our interview with Samir, he was very clear about the way these people act. Yeah, and it is a huge thing to get him out of the scene because they want people who they can buy. And Samir is someone who's not for sale. Yes, Kirti.
Yeah, I also remember, Samir in the interview, he's saying that the people should stop, having false idols. This is the word he used.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, like this is what is being. It is thanks to boycott Bollywood movement that people have started realizing that all these film stars are, are false idols, and they are not the ones who you should look up to. You should be looking up to ones like Samir Wankade,
Yeah,
army officers, and Bipin Rawat, General Bipin Rawat, and all such people, right?
yeah,
Yeah. So and before that, regarding the Smriti Irani interview of Tushar Kapoor, I really feel that you know in a country like America, which is a democracy, would you see any of the American ministers interviewing a Hollywood actor?
and a loser on top
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
And I don't know,
So
God alone knows what book he's written.
I mean, it is highly out of context, right? Like,
Yeah.
why would a minister, a sitting
You see,
minister, an active
Meera makes a
minister?
very good comment. Meera says Smriti
Hmm,
is so indebted to Ekta and family, guess she'll do
yes.
anything for them, including protecting them from law. Lost all respect for Smriti. She will soon turn out to be the white elephant for BJP, just like Anurag Thakur. Absolutely. Well said, Karthik and Meera. Maybe Shamir Sir's shady colleagues tried using his name to do the extortion.
And also bear in mind, viewers, is that why was only Rajkundra, targeted for,
Absolutely.
making porn films?
Yeah.
There were other people making porn films also,
No,
right?
Ekta would have given Vasuli, no? So
Porn
that
or
would have,
erotic
yeah.
films. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
and Ekta would have given
yeah.
Vasuli because she has so much money.
Mm,
And they all call her the Zarina. I don't understand. Is she from Russia
mm.
that she should be called a Zarina? See, these PR people from Bollywood, they think that their knowledge exists in stupid words like Zarina and all that.
Yeah. So coming to the next piece of news, it is regarding the actor Deep Sidhu. He's a Punjabi actor, and he was accused. He was one of the main accused in Red Fort violence. He died in a road accident. So he was traveling in a private vehicle along with his friend from the US, and this car accident occurred. And so Deep Sidhu was arrested in connection with the violence at Red Fort during the Farmers Rally on Republic Day 2021. He died in a road crash near the spot near the Delhi border where the farmers held a year-long protest against the three controversial farm laws. So he was traveling in a private vehicle along with a friend from the US when the accident occurred. His body is sent for a post-mortem examination to Haryana Sonipat. Now, he first achieved success and fame by winning Kingfisher Model Hunt. He also participated in Grasim Mr. India and was judged Grasim Mr. Personality. And he made his film debut in 2015 with Ramta Jogi. He went on to achieve fame with the 2018 release Jora Das Nambriya. And his uncle Gurtej Singh alleged possibility of a foul play behind the accident and claimed that a high-level inquiry is required to ascertain the cause. So this is the latest with regards to
Yeah.
this
Somehow
person.
I
Yeah.
feel, whenever you go
Mm.
against, something that's good. See, what Modi ji was doing was for the poor farmers. And they distorted the whole thing and made it their issue. Because see, these rich people anyway get so many sanctions. It is the poor farmer who always suffers. If you don't have middlemen, vegetables and fruits will be sold at half the cost. And that was what Modi ji was trying to do. Make profit for the poor farmers. It's very sad.
So there's one interesting play of karma which I noticed is that Justin Trudeau of Canada, he was in support of the farmer rallies in India, and now look at what happened to him. He is in hiding, and because of the trucker rally in his
Absolutely.
own country. So you know what they say about karma. It comes back very soon.
Yeah. Meanwhile, moving on to the demise of Bapi Lahiri, the music director. This late singer's obsession with gold price and the weight of the jewelry he owned. He really was obsessed with all this. He passed away today at the age of 69. He was called the disco king of Bollywood and he used to wear a lot of gold. This morning, all of us woke up to the sad news that the veteran singer and composer Bapi Lahiri passed away at the age of 69. While talking to media about his demise, Dr. Deepak Namjoshi, director of Criticare Hospital, said Lahiri had been admitted to the hospital for a month and was discharged on Monday. But his health deteriorated on Tuesday, and his family called for a doctor to visit their home. He was brought to the hospital. He had multiple health issues. He died during due to obstructive sleep apnea shortly before midnight. Papida had composed and sung many famous songs like I'm a Disco Dancer, Naino Me Sapna, Dhankas, Ooh Lala, and a lot more. Apart from his songs, he was famously known for his appearance. The late singer composer used to always wear a lot of gold chains, rings, and bracelets. He had spoken about his obsession with gold in multiple interviews. During his appearance on Indian Idol 12, Bapida said, when my first film, Zakmi, was a success, my mother gave it to me, and since then, gold has been very lucky for me, as every song was a hit after this. I was also really fascinated with the way Elvis Presley has his own identity, and I too decided to have my own. And here I am today. Well, everyone has been very keen to know how much gold Bapi Rehari used to wear. According to the election affidavit given in 2014, the veteran singer had 754 grams of gold and 4.62 kilos of silver. It's been 8 years, so he might have bought more gold in the past few years. It's also said that his wife has more gold than him. His wife, Chitrani, has 967 grams of gold and 8.9 kilos of silver. The late singer also had diamonds worth more than rupees 4 lakhs, 4 lakh diamonds. Yeah, so Jaideep, I remember, when we were coming back from Los Angeles, they were also there at the airport, and basically, he and his wife are very polite, and but he was dressed in the same way. He had worn a lot of gold chains and gold rings, and all his fingers had rings, just like Ekta Kapoor, and but a very polite man, and yes, his music was, I think, mainly made for people like Mithun Chakrabarti at that time. Yeah, back to you.
Yeah. So coming to the next piece of news is that Gujarat High Court issues notice to state on PIL seeking ban on loudspeakers in mosques. Now, the Gujarat High Court on Monday issued a notice to the state government and on a public interest litigation petition seeking direction to the government of Gujarat to consider banning of loudspeakers in mosques. Now, a division bench of Chief Justice Arvind Kumar and Justice Ashutosh issued a notice on a plea moved by one Dharmendra Vishnubai, a doctor based in Gandhinagar district of Gujarat. On being asked by the court regarding the decibel allowed as per the noise pollution rules prevailing in the state of the use of microphone, the petitioner submitted that sounds up to 80 decibels are permitted, but mosques are using loudspeakers with sound over 200 decibels. Now, in response to a query regarding noise pollution in weddings due to banned instruments, the petitioner said that unlike the use of loudspeakers in mosques, which happens every day from 5:30 p.m. to 9 p.m., a wedding ceremony takes place only once in a lifetime of a person. Why do people who don't believe in Islam have to listen to such noise pollution by a mosque? Even when there is restrictions in use of loudspeakers during Ganpati festival, then why the same cannot be applied in the case of mosques? This is what the petitioner argued. And considering the submissions of the petitioner and issue involved in the plea, the court issued notice on the same returnable on March 10th, 2022.
Absolutely. Moving to news about Prime Minister, UP cannot progress under those who promote rioters and mafia, is what PM Modi said in Sitapur. Prime Minister Modi on Wednesday said Uttar Pradesh cannot progress under a government that supports rioters and mafia. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said Uttar Pradesh cannot progress under a government that supports rioters and mafia. Addressing a public rally in UP Sitapur, PM Modi said the development of UP cannot be done by those people who encourage rioters, goons, and mafia. He urged the public to vote for the BJP as it has brought the rule of law in the state. Now, Yogi Ji's government is working to liberate the people of UP from these rioters and criminals. That is why today the whole of UP is saying we will bring those who have brought the rule of law, PM Modi said. PM Modi said the BJP government in UP means equal control over rioters, mafia Raj, Gunda Raj. It means open freedom to celebrate the festivals, protection of sisters and daughters, continuous work for the welfare of the poor. In a veiled dig at the Samajwadi Party, PM Modi said there could be no justice for the people of Uttar Pradesh under a government run by diners. When there is no rule of law, the poor suffer the most. The poor are not heard under the rule of mafia. In Uttar Pradesh, which was earlier ruled by diners, they had maintained this atmosphere. PM Modi accused the previous governments in UP of not promoting local industries and focusing on imports. For years, the thinking of the extreme patriarchs was that instead of emphasizing the skills of the artisans, they emphasized on import from abroad. Today, we are talking about being vocal of local. It is our endeavor that there should be maximum production in the country. More and more employment opportunities should be created, he added. Moving on to another piece of news, the Muslim girls arrive at colleges in burqa and hijab in Karnataka and they chant Allahu Akbar in protest after denied entry in college in Tumkur in Karnataka. On Wednesday, Muslim girls, students wearing hijab and burqa, protested against a college in Tumkur after they were denied entry into the campus. They yelled Allahu Akbar slogans as they walked down in protest on the streets of Tumkur, Karnataka. According to reports, the colleges in Tumkur reopened today and stopped the hijab and burqa wearing Muslim girls from entering the campus in accordance with the Karnataka High Court's interim decision. The High Court last week had declared that nobody would dress up in religious attire in the educational institutions until the matter was being heard. The women were seen wearing hijab and burqa even after the HC's order and kept on protesting for justice. On Wednesday, Muslim girl students wearing hijab and burqa protested against a college in Tumkur after they were denied entry into the campus. According to the reports, the High Court has said that unless the matter is being heard, unless that is done, they will have to refrain from wearing the hijab. The hijab row that erupted earlier this month took an unprecedented turn after the Muslim girls wearing hijab gained massive support from Taliban, Pakistan leaders, and also Islamists and liberal heads from within the country. So much so that last week, a couple of reports highlighted that students also offered namaz inside the school premises. In Bagalkot and Kadapa in Mangalore, Muslim girls offered namaz in the corridor area of a government school even after the principal clearly directed the students that they can't offer namaz in the classrooms or in the school premises. Pertinently, the girls chanted Allahu Akbar on the streets of Tumkur. The police, meanwhile, and the local administration authorities in Karnataka have suspected that the Campus Front of India, the CFI, has instigated the girls to run the Muslim agenda and are investigating into the matter. Udupi MLA K. Raghupati Bhatt has also called for an NIA investigation into the hijab controversy, which seems actually more political. The students, all by themselves, cannot plant themselves into such a massive operation and conjure up such support for the hijab movement, he said. The girls have admitted to have been consulting CFI, which is the Campus Front of India, over the hijab row. They have been in talks with the CFI since October 2021, and the pro hijab protest started in December 2021. Reportedly, CFI is the Students with Islamic Outfit Popular Front of India, an extremist organization banned in various states. Now, here something very weary is that eerie is that these women themselves have confessed that till recently they were all not wearing the veil. And it has only been recently that they have been given this instruction to wear hijab. Back to you, sir.
Yeah, so yesterday, it was also established that the Muskan Zainab, who was the burqa-clad protester who shouted Allahu Akbar in front of certain students. So she was linked to PFI, right? That's what her father works for PFI, which is Popular Front of India, and
Yeah,
that's a radical Islamic group.
absolutely.
So that has been exposed now, right?
Yeah.
Now, coming to the next piece of news is this is quite interesting. Is that in India there are so many ban on Chinese apps. Now, IT department raids offices of Chinese electronics giant Huawei in tax evasion case. Now, the income tax officers have been conducting searches at the offices of Chinese telecom company Huawei since Tuesday as a part of tax evasion investigation. Now, the income tax department has been conducting searches at the offices of this telecom company, Huawei, and as part of a tax evasion investigation. And according to sources, income tax officials looked through the financial documents, account books, and company records as part of a tax evasion investigation against the company, its Indian businesses, and overseas transactions. Some of the papers were seized, and Huawei, in a statement, said that its operation in India were firmly compliant with the country's law. We have been informed of the visit of income tax team to our office and also of the meeting with some personnel. Huawei is confident our operations in India are firmly compliant to all the laws and regulations. We will approach a related government department for more information and fully cooperate as per the rules and regulations. Now, last year, the income tax department had conducted searches against Chinese firms like Xiaomi and Oppo and entities linked to them, claiming to have detected unaccounted income worth of over 6,500 crore rupees accrued through violations of tax laws and regulations. And in another piece of interesting news is like if any of the viewers have an Apple iPhone 6 old one, so if you own an Apple iPhone 6 Plus, you must now own a vintage product. Apple has added the iPhone 6 Plus, which was launched almost 5 years ago, to its vintage list. This indicates that the smartphone has run its complete cycle of production. Apple launched the iPhone 6 Plus alongside the iPhone 6, and the iPhone 6 Plus was also the first from the Apple series to bring large displays to the market. Now, as per Apple, products are added to the vintage category when Apple stops distributing them for sale more than 5 and less than 7 years ago. Similarly, Apple adds product to the obsolete category when it stops distributing them for sale for more than 7 years. Although Apple discontinues all hardware service for obsolete products, the Mac notebooks are exempted from it. So they are eligible for an additional battery only repair period, Service providers cannot order parts for obsolete products. So the iPhone 6 Plus joins the vintage list of iPhones, including the iPhone 4, iPhone 4S, iPhone 4S 8 GB, iPhone 5, and so on. And people who still have the iPhone 6 Plus should not, fret, because Apple authorized service providers may continue to offer repair services for the iPhone 6 Plus up to 7 years post discontinuation.
Yeah. Moving on to the next piece of news. Yeah. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra cheers, claps as Charanjit Singh Channi spreads hate against people of UP and Bihar. Calling the people of UP and Bihar Paiye, CM Channi claimed he will push them out of Punjab. Priyanka Gandhi, in charge of UP Congress, clapped and cheered. While Priyanka Gandhi Vadra is leading the Congress campaign in UP assembly elections, where she described herself as the daughter of Uttar Pradesh, in Punjab she is busy abusing the people of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. When Punjab CM Charanjit Singh Channi was talking about evicting people from UP and Bihar out of Punjab, Priyanka Gandhi was supporting the comment by the CM. On February 15th, Punjab Chief Minister Charanjit Singh Channi, along with Congress leader Priyanka Gandhi, was addressing a rally in Ropar, district Roopnagar, Punjab. During his address, Channi spread hate against the people of UP and Bihar living in Punjab and called for drawing them out of the state. Interestingly, while he was propagating hate against the people of UP and Bihar, Priyanka Gandhi, General Secretary of Congress and in charge of UP Congress, cheered and clapped on his statement. While Priyanka Gandhi is leading the Congress campaign in UP, she's described as daughter of Uttar Pradesh. I don't know on what basis she is being called that. The assembly elections are scheduled for February 20 in Punjab. Voting will be held in a single phase. The results will be announced on March 10 with four other states that are Uttar Pradesh, Goa, Manipur, and Uttarakhand. So here we see it's like a school for scoundrels. All the bad people join together and start abusing each other. That's how this group of people are behaving. Yeah, back to you, Jay.
Yeah, so that's all the news from my
So I think
side.
there's one more bit that's of Rana Ayub. So I think that's one more news, Jay.
Now, what is it regarding?
Yeah. Okay. The personal expenses, fixed deposits in father's name. So we can just show the picture. Yeah. Personal expenses, fixed deposit in father's name, transfer to her sister out of public funds, details as ED attaches. One second, thanks. Assets worth rupees 1.77 crores of Rana Ayub. Through the investigation, the ED has now attached the amount lying unutilized. The amount comes to 1.77 crores. This includes the fixed deposit of rupees 50 lakhs in her father's name. The ED has attached assets worth rupees 1.77 crores of alleged journalist Rana Ayub under the Money Laundering Act. The ED has, in its attachment, order said Rana Ayub has cheated the general public donors in a pre planned manner and with the intention to cheat the general public donors. The order says that Rana Ayub's scam started right from the time she collected the money and started withdrawing it from the savings account of herself and her family members. The ED order further said that a fixed deposit amounting to rupees 50 lakhs was booked from her saving bank account through net banking and opening a separate current bank account, and subsequently funds were transferred from her saving bank account and bank accounts of her sister and father and did not utilize for the purpose for which it was raised by Rana Ayub, terming the funds raised and misused by Rana Ayub as proceeds of crime. The ED order stated that Rana Ayub knowingly indulged in proceeds of crime, including its acquisition, possession, use, and projecting it as untainted property, and therefore she has committed the offense of money laundering as defined under Sections 3 of the Act 2002, which is punishable under Section 4 of the Act. The actions of Ayub are considered scheduled offences under the PMLA, ED said. While the UP police has not yet filed a charge sheet in the case, the ED has stated that if the assets of Rana Ayub are not touched by the ED, the department has reason to believe that this money would be siphoned off, making it impossible for the amount to be attached later if the ED were to wait for the charge sheet to be filed. Considering the reasons stated, ED provisionally attached the amount collected by Rana Ayub, obtained and used criminally for a period of 180 days from the date of issuance of this order. Apparently, she did this she raised these crores from the public for funds for slum dwellers and farmers during April May 2020, relief work for Assam, Bihar, and Maharashtra during June September 2020, and help for COVID 19 impacted people in India during May June 2021. The FIR mentioned that she received money from foreign donors for which she did not have the required permission mandated under Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. And she was also doing all this through Keto, which I also believe is a very big scamming organization, charity organization. Summons have been issued to her and her statement to the department. Rana Ayub claimed that she had received money only in Indian rupees. However, the details produced by Keto disputed her version. She claimed that the entire amount that was transferred to her sister and father's amount was subsequently transferred to account to be used for purposes that for which it was raised for. She has submitted a list of donors to the ED. Neither her father nor her sister nor she received any information on the registered email address as per RBI guidelines on foreign remittances. She further said they do not have FCRA registration since it was not required to receive money in INR. She claimed that she used her money for relief work, like purchasing food grains, tarpaulin sheets, COVID essentials. Bills of rupees 40 lakhs has been submitted for all this. So that's how, a woman who calls herself a journalist and who keeps on bad-mouthing India and the prime minister, was scamming behind everybody's back and making money and, and her family, father and her sister rich in the process. This is how they cheat people and the country. So that's all the news for now, friends. I'll leave the line open. So in case you'd like to join us, please do. So that's the link, friends, if you'd like to join. Maya. And for an excuse, Rana said that since the money was being unutilized, the HDFC manager, Khopar Khairani branch, asked her to put it in FDs in her and her father's name. Yeah. Neera says, Rana Ayub is a scamster, dancing in the tune of her paymasters. Absolutely. Keju's raw ambition revealed by Kumar Vishwas that he wants to be the CM and then the PM of separate Khalistan state, where he's openly supporting Khalistani camp to get votes. Karthik, an Italian-born lady calls herself daughter of UP. I would say the entire family of the fake Gandhis is like the monster created by Dr. Frankenstein. Brain from nowhere, body from somewhere. Chitra, clearly Rana Ayub is only working for herself and her family. Glad she's exposed finally. It's so sad to see my niece, who is in second PUC, not able to attend classes. The college is already behind in covering portions, and kids are really worried about terms. Sad state of Karnataka. I don't understand on what reason you're saying. Is it because of COVID? Barbara, thanks for speaking English. Barbara, there are two channels. There's one specifically for English, and there's one specifically for Hindi. So when you open it, you will know on the poster itself which is in Hindi and which is in English. Thank you, Barbara. Chitra, Priyanka is continuing to prove she is as clueless and dumb as her brother. Both have no value or charm as leaders, except that she is the daughter of Rajiv Gandhi. Yes. Papia, yesterday I saw Deepthi ma'am Hindi episode of SSR Diaries. Excellent, and it will be helpful for the viewers के लिए जो हिंदी समझते हैं, and मेरे लिए भी बहुत अच्छा हुआ. Thank you, Papia. 5 minutes में ही वो channel गायब हो गया. I don't know, Amita, which one you're talking about. Asking why did the Karnataka High Court even consider hearing hijab case? since they have a precedent in Kerala High Court against hijab, that in education institutions, uniform is important, not personal. Very well said, Maya. Chandrika, many countries have banned hijab. Even the Muslim countries have banned it for security reasons. Why can't our country put a ban on hijab? We have to be tough. That is the only way. If India is tough, then the judiciary won't come, screaming for other, opposite in the opposite direction. So it's very important. Metal says it's so sad to see young, impressionable minds being exploited for political gains. Yes. Why is Centre not banning such organizations? Since Karnataka is going for polls next year, all this is a part of their polarizing agenda. This is what Meera says. Yes. Chitra, they are so misguided, and sadly, most parents are choosing hijab to education, completely brainwashed about a place in heaven. Not only that, Chitra, so many other wrong impressions that the earth is flat, so many things, even citing the moon. I mean, people have already reached the moon and other places, and we're talking about such things. All the best plots and land in Mumbai are residences of Bollywood biggies, yes, like Janvi Kapoor. Now, the hijab petition wanted the case to be heard after the second round voting in UP. Clearly shows the agenda openly. Absolutely, Maya. Welcome, Priyanka. After a long time.
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. How are you?
Fine, fine.
First of
Hi,
all,
Prince.
congratulations. I'm fine. Jayadevji, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. First
You
of
need to
all,
speak a little
congratulations.
loudly, Priyanka.
Sure. Congratulations on your channels, and it's really great. Something for Hindi viewers also.
Yes, absolutely.
Hindi,
Yeah,
uh, it's really important for people to get connected with the right content, and there are
yes.
very few channels which are genuinely doing maybe if we call about SSR investigation also, and many other topics that you bring on your channel.
Yeah,
So I congratulate you on this. And another thing is, uh, it's been so long because I was doing a lot of things on grounds, and
okay,
there will be few good news that I will share after a month with all of you. That's
okay.
all. Yeah. And we wrote a letter to support Samir sir also, and Samir sir also appreciated that letter,
Yeah,
because I wrote a letter to HMO and PMO, enlisting all his success stories
yeah,
from
absolutely.
2013 till date,
Yeah,
and we compared those things on the parameters of selection of Indian civil services examination, because I am myself a trainer.
yeah.
So then so it was also appreciated, so that was the good news which I
Very good.
wanted
Yeah,
to share.
very good.
And ma'am, one more mail which I am going to write to PMO and HMO on one nation one law, that is the civil code.
Good. Yeah,
Uniform Civil Code.
Yes, uniform civil code. So I am trying to find out few technical terms which we need to include in that letter,
yeah,
so that it can become more related to the topic which we want to highlight. And
yeah,
it will be addressed to Kiran Rijiju ji,
yeah,
because he is the union and law minister.
yeah,
So we will mark that mail to law and justice department.
yeah.
So
Very
that is
interesting
all.
comment from Maya. I believe there was double bogus voting by women in Burkha with different ID voter cards. This is the problem, Maya. This is the problem.
And ma'am, one thing which I like to share is I was going through the global campaigns which have been done against burqa and hijab. entire world on some or the other date, in maybe in 2018, 2017, even Muslim girls have done lot and lot of campaigns against burqa and hijab,
Yes.
that they don't want to wear it.
Yeah.
But here people are using it,
As a
to
political ploy.
provoke. Yes, as a political plot, as well as to play a divide and rule tool,
Yeah.
because nothing is left now for
See,
them to show. Hmm.
Priyanka, see, it's very simple. If you don't like, if you want to wear the burqa, go to a school or college which allows it. You have to go to a college where they don't allow. That means you're trying to
Right.
politicize it.
And ma'am, in I few days back, I gave a small program on my channel also.
Yeah.
The president of France, uh, I forgot his name, Emmanuel something. He's the
Macron.
president. Yes.
Macron.
Yes, yes. He in 2018 also the same situation happened in France also.
Yeah.
France in Europe, France is the largest, is the country with largest Muslim population.
Yeah.
So there, such type of incidences are very common,
Yeah.
that they keep on demanding their own unnecessary things
You
over there.
know,
And
let me tell you one thing, Priyanka, and to all the viewers. Uh, See, when I was in Iraq, when I was studying in college, the girls over there were so fashionable. They would never wear the burqa. And if you went to the girls' room, you'll be surprised. They used to smoke, and they were so fashionable. They wore the latest clothes wherever, it is shown in the fashion magazines in the West. They were wearing those kind of clothes. Only thing is, it was in uniform style. And they were always talking, they tried to learn English, and they were so happy to learn new things. So this is, see, this all this veil and everything came only, when ISIS came into Iraq and started forcing people to wear hijab. So every time you must realize who is being suppressed, the women who are suppressing these women. It is only the men, and it is being done on political purposes only. Because see, a broad-minded man will never tell his wife to get covered. You know, why would he be scared? That people will look at her. No, it's all in earlier days in Iraq and all. It was not there. It is only when people like Ayatollah Khomeini came in, that such things started happening. Extremism, fanaticism, and when other countries are doing this, India should also be very firm. There should be absolutely no hijab. You know, it's very important. Like triple talaq is banned. This can also be banned. Yeah.
and
Chandrika
ma'am,
says this hijab issue was raised just before UP elections as the first two phases voting were in Muslim majority areas. And with this hijab matter blown up, no one would dare to question the ladies voting. Yes. Well said, Chandrika. Yeah, Priyanka?
in 2020,
Yeah.
21 August,
Yeah. Mm.
when Taliban was in rule in Afghanistan,
Yeah.
the very first campaign which was run by women over there in
Yeah.
August was against burqa and hijab.
Yes.
So imagine the country which is under strict rule of Islam, religion. Women over there, they are demanding for freedom, and they want to get rid of this burqa and hijab and all. And here we are in a
You won't
democratic
believe it,
country.
Priyanka. When I used to fly to countries like in Europe, from Dubai. See, there would be these local women who would be, who would enter the plane, wearing a burqa. The moment we landed in any place like Paris or Germany, they would immediately remove their burqa and go in their fashionable wear. They will land at the airport. They did not find any problem. So why are these women having a problem? I don't understand.
That's absolutely right, ma'am. And in Europe, every country, almost every country, has very strict rules against hijab and burqa,
Yeah.
because you know this particular religion has tried to demand their unnecessary, religious dogmas over there also, but
Yeah.
their government is really strict.
Mhm.
The president of France, he says that the is, I don't remember exact words, but what he meant was that Islam Islam religion is trying to dominate the republic country of France, which I
Yeah.
will not allow.
Mhm.
And imagine the president is saying it very clearly.
Mhm.
और अगर अगर यहाँ पे अगर मोदी जी बोल देना ये बात, तो then
Enough.
there will be a
Hangama. Pankaj is saying first they talked about how India and BJP is suppressing certain religions. That did not work. Now they have targeted the young girls and fueled another controversy. So it's baffling. And what do they need? Again, see, Pankaj, another thing is there are so many bigger issues in India. Do they bother about that? They don't care about that. They care about only some flimsy reasons like this. You know, is education more important or your religion more important? You have to decide that. It's very important. And these, I was watching in a school in Karnataka when the lady outside was very strict from the school. These girls took out their hijab and they went inside, and you could see how sheepishly their fathers were watching them. They have no choice. They better do it.
ma'am, I
Yeah,
hope we are not deviating from the topic.
yeah. No, we're not. Hijab is a very important part here.
Yes, so that's all. And I request everyone that everybody can mail to HMO, PMO,
Yeah,
and to the Ministry of Law and Justice.
yeah,
All the mail IDs are there on Google, or
yeah,
if they want, they can take. I will put the content on mail also, so
yeah,
everybody can see it,
yeah,
because uniform civil code is very very important
yeah,
in respect to our equal rights,
mm,
as well as it will help to curb corruption also.
yeah.
To some extent it will help us to in even in for the betterment of education system also. ये
Yeah, absolutely.
minorities के चक्कर में इतना reservation they have taken that so that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. So we'll take another last point from Mira. Mira says the way they procreate, Europe will be taken over by people following Islam in the next 50 years. And Dipuran Rani says Pakistani Hindu women don't even have rights to live there. And here these people, absolutely well said, Dipurani. So with that, we close the session. Tomorrow, Tariq Fatah will be joining us. It'll be a very interesting session. We'll be discussing Pakistan, we'll be discussing Balochistan, and also the hijab. So please do join us tomorrow. It's the same time, 8 o'clock. Good night.